So, Shonen Jump has gotten rid of my Frosty the Snowman manga, and I couldn't be more angry about it. Honestly, don't get me wrong, I'm not actually that upset about it. I get it. I understand that Shonen Jump needs to make room for new stuff to allow new stories to blossom, but that's a thing. And everybody's said it before. I've heard it a million times from many other YouTubers. They aren't giving anything a shot. Nothing's lasting long enough for anyone to really care about it. But me personally, I have been really enjoying this new story called Ginka and Glüna. I don't know if anyone else has been reading it very much, but I've been reading it weekly as it's been coming out. And the chapter that really brought to my attention was the one that maybe some people saw. It had like a little article written about it, about a character who matched power levels of other characters in shonen who like he could compare, like he's a really strong guy kind of thing. So I started reading the series and I took my time with it, and I was actually really enjoying it. Got to that chapter. Don't get me wrong, by the way, a little bit of spoilers. I read that chapter. The way that thing ended with that, I'm glad that he wasn't completely removed from the picture, but I'm glad that things kind of ended the way that they did, because it made it seem like there were still stakes at play. He was still out there, and the main character still had kind of a chance at doing something about it. But the intention of the main villain was also something that I thought was just truly interesting. Like, of course, you always hear the villain say, "Oh, I want to live forever because of this or that or this or that," but just hearing like the main villain, I think his name is Madaraka or Magaraka. Hard to remember exactly. It's a hard twist of the words. But his main thing was that he wanted to live forever so that he could see the end of the universe whenever that happened or however it happened. He wanted to see stars explode, the universe itself end or create itself anew or do whatever would happen next in the next cycle. And I found that to be a very interesting, true inspiration for him to want to live forever. And that is kind of why I'm like, okay, I vibe with this guy. He's a cool villain. And I started really liking him. I started liking the main character a lot. Most of the characters I really enjoyed. I didn't dislike anybody. The vibe that I was getting from every chapter was good. The author, Shinpei Watanabe, you've been doing great. I'm just gonna be honest. But Jump canceling you right after this fight, and right when things are starting to get more interesting. I haven't read the last two chapters, but the main character, more spoilers, loses her memory because of a power transfer that she has to do. I won't get too far into it, but it's just upsetting. They're really getting rid of it right as it's getting to a super interesting and what seeming crucial point in the story that it's damn, it's really kind of pulling me in, probably pulling other people in too, but now other people just aren't able to do it, and it upset, or aren't able to check it out, or at least finish checking it out, because it upsets me. I always, whenever I first read those first few chapters, I always got the sense, it felt like Frosty the Snowman, but as a manga, but with a twist with magic, and it made it honestly interesting, plus knowing that the guy was actually a human. And don't get me wrong, the body parts being separated thing, yeah, it sounded a little bit like Jujutsu Kaisen with Sukuna being separated into 20 pieces, and Ginka his body being separated into different pieces, and that they have to go collect them, and then they could fuse him into one being. But the way that they did it in that, they made it their own, and I respect it. It just sucks that we have things that don't get a good chance. But don't get me wrong, I love Chainsaw Man. But if literally anyone were to read this is just for an example, the first probably volume of Chainsaw Man, where is this in? Hard to say. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, the very beginning of Chainsaw Man is interesting, but anybody who is a just starting anime fan is going to look at it and be like, this is some super pervy shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, how is this interesting at all? And with Chainsaw Man, it's a slow development. It really is, in my opinion. Like, a lot of people I knew, I tried convincing them, oh, read the manga, it's great. I read all of the manga. I really liked it. But it wasn't until, like, probably halfway, 3/4 of the way, that it starts to actually be, like, a mature, not mature, but, like, a story that makes sense, and, like, the characters' motivations are more mature, and then things just kind of shift, and then things just get really fucking crazy all of a sudden. And for some people, that's just how it went, and everybody liked it. But it got, like, it was able to blossom and become what it was because it was given the time. I don't know. It just feels like Jump's just not giving them enough of a chance. But I ranted on long enough. I won't keep you here any longer. If you feel any kind of way about Ginka and Glüna, I don't know, put something in the comments. Show your love for it. I know I personally enjoyed it, and maybe other people did too. Just trying to get the word out there, you know. It's a good story, you know. Definitely check it out. Kind of like Redhead, you know, that was good before it got canceled too, but, you know, just gonna join the club of Shonen Jump's cancellation lists, so what can you do? Alrighty, well, I'll see you guys some other time.